We used to joke that the world began and ended with just the two of us. There were only two daughters in our family, my sister and me, and somehow that made our bond feel sacred, like a secret no one else could fully understand. We shared everything: clothes, dreams, laughter that echoed too loudly in quiet places. When we traveled, people often mistook us for twins, not because we looked alike, but because we moved like one person split into two bodies. She knew when I was about to speak. I knew when she was about to cry. I still remember the day of her wedding. I stood beside her as her chief bridesmaid, holding her bouquet when her hands trembled. She squeezed my fingers and whispered, "Don't ever leave me." I laughed softly and told her, "You're stuck with me forever." And I meant it. Back then, forever felt simple. Everything changed the year we lost our parents. Grief came like a storm that swallowed the sky, leaving us both drowning in silence. At first, we clung to each other even more tightly. We sat together going through old photo albums, crying until our eyes burned, retelling stories we had heard 100 times before just to hear their voices again through memory. But grief has a way of turning love into something fragile. When it came time to settle our parents' estate, I expected fairness, not because of the money itself, but because we had always been equals. Two daughters, two halves of the same story. But she gave me 20%. I remember staring at the documents, thinking there must be a mistake. When I asked her, she didn't meet my eyes. She said things about responsibility, about how she had a family now, about how she needed more. Her words felt distant, like they belonged to someone I didn't recognize. I didn't shout at first. I just asked, "Why?" She couldn't give me an answer that didn't feel like betrayal. The argument that followed shattered something between us. Years of love turned sharp in a matter of minutes. We said things we could never take back. Words meant to hurt, and they did. Deeply. And then, just like that, we stopped. No calls, no visits, no birthdays, no holidays. The silence stretched from days into months, from months into years, until it became our new normal. 20 years passed like that. Two strangers carrying the same childhood, but refusing to share it. Sometimes I would think of her when I saw something she would have loved: a dress in a shop window, a place we once visited, a song we used to sing together. I would almost reach for my phone, but pride is a stubborn companion. I told myself she had chosen money over me. I told myself she didn't care. And slowly, I built a life that didn't include her. Then one day, the phone rang. I almost didn't answer. The number was unfamiliar, but something in me hesitated. When I finally picked up, a voice on the other end told me my sister was sick. Very sick. She had asked for me. My heart tightened, but anger rose faster. After all these years? After everything? I asked if she had ever tried to apologize. The voice hesitated. That silence felt like an answer. So I said, "I can't." And I hung up. I told myself I was protecting my dignity, that some wounds don't heal just because time passes. I didn't know I was making the worst mistake of my life. A few days later, the call came again. This time, it was too late. My sister was gone. I don't remember dropping the phone, but I remember the sound it made when it hit the floor. I remember the way the room seemed to tilt, like the world had suddenly lost its balance. At her funeral, I stood at a distance, unsure of where I belonged. I watched people cry for her, people who had known her only a fraction of the way I had, and I felt something inside me break open. Then someone handed me a small box. "She wanted you to have this," they said. Inside were photographs, dozens of them. Us as children, mud on our faces, arms wrapped around each other, laughing like nothing in the world could ever come between us. Us on trips, in matching outfits, making silly faces at the camera. Us on her wedding day, her hand gripping mine, both of us smiling like forever was guaranteed. At the bottom of the box was a note. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. "I'm sorry," it said. "I was wrong. I missed you every day. I didn't know how to fix it anymore. I just wanted to see you one more time." That was all. 3 simple sentences. I sank to the floor, the photos spilling around me like pieces of a life I had lost. And for the first time in 20 years, I let myself feel everything: the love, the anger, the regret. The truth was unbearable. I could have forgiven her. Maybe we wouldn't have gone back to the way we used to be. Maybe we wouldn't have been inseparable again. But we could have been something. We could have spoken. We could have tried. And now there was no time left to try. Forever, it turned out, wasn't something you could promise.